One thing I've heard constantly is that Modern Warfare 2 sucked, or that it was bad. And I really didn't know to what extent people disliked the game until I started making videos on it. Because I've alluded to the fact that I really enjoyed Modern Warfare 2. I enjoyed its campaign, but people commented things like, oh, that one was bad, or, I didn't like it. And I guess I really couldn't understand it, as I thought it was pretty epic for a Call of Duty campaign. So I went online, I did a little bit of digging, and a lot of the hate for Modern Warfare 2, at least from the fans' perspective, was mainly due to its multiplayer and online modes. Some argued that the servers were terrible and that the guns were bad. Maybe the operator sucked as well. There were way too many celebrities and athletes rather than actual operators that seemed more relatable or made sense to the tone of the game. So I do think that a lot of that had to do with the hate that it received. Now, I don't play multiplayer myself, at least not anymore, but I do play a lot of Warzone, and I did notice a lot of the shit that came with Modern Warfare 2. For example, removing the regular Warzone duos for no damn reason, or the game constantly crashing, laggy servers, and at times we could even wait up to 10, even 12, 13 minutes just to find a match. But I never referred to that as a reason as to why I dislike Modern Warfare 2, because honestly, I'm pretty sure I'm in the minority, but if I wanted to play multiplayer Call of Duty, I wouldn't buy the games, as Warzone is free to play, and that's probably all that I would do. And this may be the stupidest take out there, but I truly buy Call of Duty games for their campaign only. At least that's what it turned into starting at about 2020, because before then I would buy it to play multiplayer, but that doesn't interest me as much anymore. And I think the reason I can be okay buying the game mainly for its campaign is because it's not the only thing that I play. I love single player story driven games. So for me to sit and spend some money on a 5 to 8 hour campaign in Call of Duty is a breath of fresh air almost, and I enjoy their take on war and what they do. So with all that being said, I'll tell you why I love the Modern Warfare 2 campaign so much. After the first game ended, I was very curious to see what they would do in the follow-up game, and when the trailer started releasing, you could tell that they were going all in on Modern Warfare 2. It seemed like they were going to take what made the first one great and make it better and bigger. Now, you've heard me say that a lot, because that's what I believe that they would do, and I think that they did. They expanded the conflict and they sent you to different parts of the world. There was a lot of variety when it came to the mission structure and their layout. A lot of stealth and slow movement were involved with many of the missions, but you could go loud and fast if you wanted to. And when that happened, it felt good, smooth, and cool. One of the missions that I really enjoyed was the one with Rodolfo and Alejandro crossing the border into Texas. And I really liked the aspect of walking through the streets, walking through the trailer parks, kind of moving slowly, entering some homes, and getting to see the inside and how people lived. It was really epic, and it brought something different to the table. I know that it was short and easy, but I found it extremely fun.
Drop your fucking weapons right now!
Solo haz lo que te dicen. Nosotros lo arreglamos.
Understand? Step forward to me. I want to see empty hands above your head. I will shoot you if I have to.
I'm Colonel Alejandro Vargas of Special Forces. We're after a known terrorist.
Gomez, hold up. These are her guys. Hard to tell you boys apart from the cartel. Where's your suspect?
Track them to the house.
And I also found the characters interesting, and I thought they were well done. Some of the highlights for me were Valeria Garza, Soap, and Commander Graves. And I think one of the biggest problems I've seen when it comes to casting actors to play Mexicans is that they usually don't actually sound Mexican. Sometimes it can sound a little bit off or a little bit weird. And I'm sure many of you guys can relate when it comes to different nationalities. But I'm Mexican, and I feel like I can tell if it doesn't sound right. Besides the fact that Valeria was an interesting character, it was her character's voice, her slang, her delivery, and the way that she handled herself that really sold it for me. I remember playing it and I thought, wow, they finally actually got a Mexican to play a Mexican role, because I would have bet you my cat, both of my cats, that she was Mexican. However, she's actually from Ecuador, but she did such a good job that I couldn't tell at all.
You put a target on your back.
No, I put a target in Chicago. Now fucking leave Las Almas and go find the pendejos pa' fuera.
From now, she's yours. But we'll be back.
I look forward to it.
Let's go.
Now, Soap was a character that I really enjoyed playing because growing up, I didn't play much of the original campaigns. As a kid, I would only play multiplayer because my goal was to level up and reach prestige. So I saw a lot of these characters almost as brand new, and I know a lot of their history because it's hard to avoid, but it was easy for me not to compare to the past. So I was a little bit baffled by Soap's appearance because I couldn't understand him much at the beginning, but he really grew as a character throughout the game. You could tell he got more serious and became better during the course of the story, and his relationship with Lieutenant Ghost was a fun dynamic to explore. I felt he was getting set up to continue that growth going forward and in future games.
I'll do it.
You go in there and they'll kill you, hermano.
I'll take my chances. We came here to stop a missile. Let's stop it. I'll offer intel for a meet with Sonombre. And if he's there, we pounce.
And lastly, Commander Graves just blew it out of the park for me. I thought he was a badass, and I'm not sure who I could compare him to in the film world, but I have seen a decent amount of war films, and sometimes I'll see a character and I'm like, you know what, that guy could clear a room by himself and just drop one-liners, and that shit would sell tickets no matter what. And that's how I felt with Commander Graves. I mean, he was likable, charismatic, cool, had a dope accent, and he was an extremely confident, almost cocky soldier. He just had that it factor. And when he betrayed the team, I did not like it at all because I didn't want it to happen.
What was your target when you sent missiles to my land?
A wild guess to nail your ass.
So insolent and foul-mouthed. You will learn to respect me when your nation sees fire.
You were in bed with the cartel, Hassan. If you disappeared, no one would know where to look for the fucking stain.
So those three characters in particular stood out to me. Now, I didn't mention Captain Price because I love Captain Price. I mean, he is without a doubt that guy in Modern Warfare. So he doesn't need to stand out to me because he's already cool as hell and a great, fantastic character. I thought he did a perfect job in the second game, as well as the rest of the cast. So in my eyes, the conflict was bigger and the game was almost like a movie. And to me, it felt like a proper sequel to the incredible Modern Warfare 2019. So I know that I mentioned only the positives. However, even though I thought it was a great game, there were still things that I did not like about it. And of course, this only pertains to the campaign. And number one is absolutely alone. The mission alone killed me. You guys have no idea how angry and pissed off that mission made me. At the time, I was working at a newspaper and it was almost time for me to go in, I think in about an hour and a half. I thought I can definitely get through this mission, record it, and put it out. So yeah, that turned out to not be the case. I couldn't get past the mission in an hour and 30 minutes. It was ridiculously hard for me, and I don't know why. Maybe I was in a rush because I knew I had to go to work soon. I just kept getting killed, and it almost ruined the game for me because I wasn't sure if I was actually going to be able to pass that mission, and I felt like a kid again when I would reach a certain level, and it just seemed impossible to pass. I didn't know what to do. I also heavily disliked the Kate rescue mission because I kept getting blown up by the bouncing betties that were on the ground as I was driving. It was cool at first. I thought it was dope, the beginning of the mission, and then how it kind of grew and how it changed. But as soon as I hit the road and I had to switch cars and all that stuff, it killed me. And I was angry throughout the whole mission. And the final mission with Hassan and his two goons was terrible. I did not want to do that again after going through Alone. It was easier than Alone, but it still seemed very tedious to do, and it annoyed me. Now, the last thing I'll say about missions is the tank battle with Graves. I think that part of the mission, that part of the story felt a little bit rushed to me. I thought we could have expanded that a little bit more, maybe gotten another cinematic with Graves and the team or something like that. I wasn't satisfied with it. I thought that they wanted it to be over with and they kind of threw us into a tank battle with a gun, and I wasn't a huge fan of that. Maybe if we would have gotten a tank as well and we would have fought like a tank battle, that would have been cool, but I didn't like the landing. I don't think the landing stuck for that particular mission and trying to end Graves' story there. So was Modern Warfare 2 really that bad? I don't think so. And remember, this is my thoughts only on the campaign alone. And this is an opinion piece. However, I did see some people mentioning how the cartels working with Hassan didn't make any sense, or the fact that Task Force 141 was working with the US military government didn't make sense any either, and how Mexico as a government didn't get involved with the attacks that the United States and the Task Force 141 did in their country. So yeah, maybe that stuff doesn't make too much sense if you really think about it, but on a personal level, I wanted to have fun and a good time and feel badass. And Modern Warfare 2 delivered, and it continued to show the strength of these characters and their newer versions. Was the story as centered or strong as Modern Warfare 2019? No, but it was still damn good and potentially my favorite out of the trilogy so far. Now, I have an update for you guys, but first, please remember to like, as it really helps the channel grow. Now, I want to say to my viewers and the people that watch my content on a regular basis and leave comments, I've had a rough couple of days, and it's particularly with the channel and figuring out its goals. I want to do more Call of Duty stuff, but I was kind of afraid to become a full Call of Duty channel because I love covering everything gaming. So I was overthinking a lot this past week. I haven't been as productive. So I really wanted to ask, what do you guys want to see? I'm thinking that I'll cover still a lot of Call of Duty content, but I'll be retelling the story of different games also. Like I'll retell the main story of like Uncharted or whatever, like just a whole bunch of different games. I will continue to retell the stories of Call of Duty, but I think that I can also cover news that seems interesting regarding the gaming world like I've been doing. If you haven't noticed, I have updated our playlist and reworked our thumbnails to align with the visions of the channel. So if you haven't checked it out, you can go on our homepage and you can scroll through there and you can see what I'm going to be concentrating on, because what you see on the homepage is what I will be mainly focused on in the channel moving forward. Let me know if that sounds good or what kind of stories you want to see and things like that. Thank you so much for being patient and supporting. It really means a lot to me, you guys. Let me know your thoughts on Modern Warfare 2 and if you liked it or didn't like it. As well, if you have any advice, I'd be glad to hear that, as you are the viewer and your input is very important to me. Once again, thank you so much, and I'll see you in our next video.